Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Plat. Is this not even right now? What the hell's going on here? What'd you guys do? Did you guys fuck it up? There we go. We are doing a unit review for the new human form, Orgodemir, today. We are going to go straight to how we do. We're going to look at the max stats because we compare like with like, and we typically do max stats. I haven't done, oh, look at, I wonder if they normally came out in the opposite order, right? That's typically what that means. This is typically in the order of release. And so if something is in a wrong order, it makes me feel like, anyway, it's not important. All right, let's take a look here. I actually got the other guy. I should do a review on this guy if I haven't yet, but not yet. This guy first because he's brand new. Let's take a look at level 120 maxed out 872 HP. That's kind of low for level 120 $200. Like that's after you spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this unit. 872 is kind of low HP. It's still good. He's probably not going to be too close most of the time. 265 attack. Who cares? 437 wisdom. Now you are that again. It is something to preface. I'm still used to the 110 stat caps, right? Where I was seeing 407, 405. So 437 is really high, but that might not be that far off from like Zoma at level 120. I think that's kind of right around. Like maybe they're pushing wisdom a little bit, but the power creep in this game doesn't seem to be from stats as much as it does to be from straight up just better abilities on newer units. Defense 268, that's really low defense with like a pretty low HP. 390 agility is fine though. That wisdom is great though. That's basically they're wisdom loaded. Let's take a look here. And of course, we'll do it from important shit first. All right, important shit is going to be their 2 perks. The passive one that they have, and then an additional one that is going to be their like first awakening. Lowers spell MP cost by 15% is a leadership ability. That's okay. I mean, that's probably the weakest part of this unit, honestly. Action start. You get this at level 1. Grant 20% damage dealt if HP is at 100%. So if this unit is at full HP, 20% more damage. That's really good. That's actually exactly, I think that's literally the exact same ability that Striking Sabercat has now. His is called Top Spear, Tip Spear, something like that. That's at 100% action start, 100% HP, gain 20% damage dealt. So I think it's literally the word for word the same thing with a different name. So that's good. This is a better unit probably anyway as well. And 20% extra damage is great. Obviously, if you get poked, that's going to be annoying, but most of the time you're not. And like an arena situation, you're not going to get hit before you get a chance to use this guy at least once to get an attack, I'm sure. Worth keeping in mind though, it's only at that point. And then at 1 awakening, right? Heals the user to full HP when HP drops under 20% one time for battle. So a full heal is insane. However, you have to not get one shot at some point there, which is pretty sketch, right? And so I'm gonna move this over. I have an email and I just want to not look at it, but I want to make sure you guys don't look at it either. Boom. There we go. All right. So yeah, so that ability's insane, right? But again, he has really low defense and he's got pretty low HP. So you have to get him to, what's the threshold? You have to get him between 1 and what is it, like 200 HP, 150 HP, something like that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 1/5. Let's just do the math. All right. I'm not going to pretend to do the math. I'm just going to do the calculator. Let's do this here. All right. He has 872, and you're going to divide that by 5 equals. All right. So you have to, in order for this to proc, he has to be set to somewhere between 1 and 174.4 HP with his highest HP cap. Now, obviously, if you get a weapon that gets him higher, like that's going to be better. It's going to be a bigger window. But obviously, the bigger this number, the better, right? Like, maybe not always. You don't want it to be 871, but the point is, like, that's a pretty small window. It might happen all the time, but it's likely this guy could be killed by around 30 to 40% of his HP remaining. It could just be one shot, and at which point I don't think you actually get any benefit from this. But there's a good chance that it'd be really good in non-arena situations, or maybe like. Since the other team's auto, maybe they have like a slime, you scorch him and bring him, do like 30 damage, and that brings him all the way up to full HP. That'd be pretty nuts. Overall, not my favorite ability. I like Dragon Lords more, where when he drops below 75% HP, he gets a great wisdom boost and he heals a large amount. Like, that just straight up better, right? Because it's almost guaranteed to actually go off. Smaller heal, but more likely to actually get the effect. Resistances, Crack Bang. This guy is a Sorrow and Zoma sandwich. Immune to Confusion is nice. Half resistance to Charm, never shows up. Martial Lock, who fucking cares? Breath Lock, who fucking cares? Yeah, I want someone to Breath Lock me, okay? Do it, all right? Please spend your turn Breath Locking me. I'm sure there's an ability that does it, but come on. Spell Lock, super weak, is kind of odd for a boss unit to have because he does have spell abilities here. But he does have spell damage, and he has breath, and he has martial, so he does kind of cover all the bases. I mean, he doesn't have any physical, but his physical sucks anyway, so who cares? But having their ultimate ability be able to be spell locked is kind of a little sus. Anyway, let's continue. Occasionally confuses one enemy, Devil's Heart, first ability. Occasionally confuses one enemy, and raises damage taken for 3 turns. Now, the way this is worded, I assume that it occasionally confuses one enemy, period. And it always raises damage taken for 3 turns. If that's the case, that's okay, I think. I don't know what the damage increase is. Maybe it's 20%, which could be good. No doubt. I don't like it, but it could be good. If it's occasionally confuses and it also occasionally raises damage, I think this kind of sucks. Range 1 to 3, single target. If it was AoE, that's now we're talking. It's not. It's a single target. Devil's Heart, I think, is likely to be bad. Now, it's all depends. If raises damage taken is 100%, that's going to be kind of nuts. But I don't know what the damage is. I'm assuming it's closer to 10, 15, 20%, something like that, which is good, but it's still bad, if that makes sense. Like, you would only use that if you don't want to attack with them, right? You would only use Devil's Heart if you don't want to attack with this unit for some reason. So you brought him specifically for Devil's Heart, which is probably not a good spot on your team to have. Because increasing damage taken by 20% or whatever is less damage than attacking for 100% of your maximum damage twice in a row, right? So if this doubles the damage, and then so if this is 100% increased damage, this unit would do right 200% damage on the second turn, and even then that would be worth it because your other team would get effects from it. But overall, I think this is bad. Again, it depends. Does it stack? Can you stack it up to 3 times? Does it land all the time? There's a chance this could be good. Super tanky units, you just get this on. So you have this modifier. So you have defense down 3, attack up 3 on a unit. Then they have an extra 60% increased damage taken. This could be good. I don't know. This comes off to me as bad, though. However, the flames, though, here, much better. Deals major frizz-type breath damage to all enemies in area of effect. So Dragon Lord. Rarely raises damage taken for 3 turns. So this happens less frequently, I assume. Rarely, so like 25% raises damage taken for 3 turns. That's pretty good. You know, it's just Dragon Lord's breath attack, but also can just increase damage taken. So it's a very noticeable debuff. Like, that's way better. When you're doing like good damage and you have a cool effect on top of it, that's way better than doing 0 damage and sometimes getting a cool effect. I like this. And this has a range of 1 to 3, plus even more because it actually hit 4 tiles away. Because it can hit those back corners, you know, kind of like a whoosh or something like that. And then Psyspark, their super ability here, deals minor spell damage, so no element, which is, you know, everyone loves Zoma. Psy Cannon's incredible, but this is both better and worse in some situations because sometimes Glacial Doom is always better than Psy Cannon, but Psy Cannon's always going to be useful. So this is in the same boat, right? It's never going to be better. It's probably not better against something weak to Frizz, but it's probably always pretty good. Deals minor spell damage to random enemies in area of effect 8 times. So this could be really good. I'm guessing this does around... Let's see, what do you think minor is? I'm guessing it's around 100 points. It depends on what the wisdom cap is on this. If each point of minor is about 120, right? 120 times 8 is 820. That is not the correct math. I was making a joke, but let's just do times 8 just for the hell of it because I'm talking right now. 960. This ability might struggle to break 1,000. It might. If it struggles to break 1,000, I think it sucks. But it probably passes that. I'd be surprised if it didn't. Especially with the 20% extra damage, he's going to get at 100% HP, and this unit has 3 movement, which I kind of forgot to mention, which is a big deal because most casters, which he's a semi-caster, doesn't. The thing is, this pattern, right? This pattern is huge, no doubt. As the range of 2, so if you're down here, you could hit one. So you're standing here, right, on this bottom square. I know it's sorry, I know it's kind of hard to see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can hit. It really doesn't hit any further than this, honestly. But it actually has 1, 2, it has 5 squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares. So it hits less than that, and also the damage can get divided. Like, it's really, if you're fighting one thing, this is awesome. But if you're fighting multiple things, I don't know. I think it's too easy to accidentally divide the damage. I don't love this type of damage where it's inconsistent. Like, the thing about Dragon Lords that's so good is that it is a 3x3 square. I just feel like, I mean, maybe Dragon Lords would technically be easier to hit things with, but I never do. It's always one target because it's awesome. So maybe this is going to be kind of the same thing. So that's possible. I'm a little iffy that I'm afraid that it might hit multiple targets and you don't want it to and not kill something you want it to kill. I'm not in love with this ability, but I bet it's probably pretty good. Overall, what do I think about this unit? I think the unit is not worth pulling for. I'll be straight up. I just don't, I think it's good, right? Again, when you're talking about gotchas and you're talking about new units, yeah, new units are good. This guy's good. If you get this unit, you shouldn't be like, oh shit, I got a shit unit. No, he's great, obviously. What you're asking in gotcha is this worth spending my limited resources on or my real life money on? If you're gonna get everything, you're gonna whale out, then it doesn't matter because you're gonna get it anyway. If you're like, I'm gonna spend $80 this month attempting to get a unit, I don't think this is the unit you spend it on right now. And again, it's not that it's a bad unit. I just don't really think I don't think it's that powerful, and I don't think it fills any specific roles that are super good. I feel like you could probably find a different unit that does each of these things better, but it is kind of nice to have it all in one, right? Has a good spell, has a good frizz breath, has a decent martial. I guess it's not an attack, but that might be a good ability. Devil's Heart might end up being his best ability, and I just don't know. It really depends on how it works. But I don't think this unit's worth it. On the other hand, though, the reason it could potentially be worth it to spend some resources is I do think his A unit is like insanely good. I'll probably do a review on that, but for an A unit that's much easier to get, I think this is very powerful, and I like this unit a lot. But honestly, I personally, well, I want to get Dragon Lord. I'd probably get that new guy over Dragon Lord, but I think it would be close. Honestly, I'd probably, personally, I'd be doing these because I like getting guaranteed units. And I think this unit is probably just better overall. His Demon Lord form, just like insanely cool, powerful abilities. Very slow, but I think most of the other units are probably just going to be a little bit better than that unit right now. But that's going to be it, guys. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. I am interested in what you have to say. That is all for today. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching another YouTube video. Have a great day, night, friends.